But it is funny.
It's hilarious.
Funny. I mean, listen, all I know is this. Every time he comes here and gets his butt whipped, the afro keeps growing more and more out of control.
Would you leave that man
his hair game is getting crazy.
You don't understand.
You did grow up with women. You did, because you notice everything. If you grew up with like 8 brothers, you would never be
I noticed things I haven't even said yet. Go mess with me, Molly. Because Molly been getting at me. Go ahead and mess with me. I know things I ain't said yet.
My role in life is to keep you humble, is to keep you checked. That's what I get paid to do. All right.
Woody on doing TikTok.
Manic Mondays. This man. With Michael, always must-see TV, and still to come on this show, we've got Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence going toe-to-toe tonight, both #1 overall picks. Which quarterback has the brighter future? That debate shortly, along with plenty of other juicy topics, so don't go anywhere. Christmas came early. Tom Brady versus Bill Belichick. Brady and Gronk returning to Foxborough, but this time as the enemy. Some news. James White will miss this one and the season for New England. The Bucs have signed Richard Sherman, and there's a chance Sherm will play. Gronk was not in practice yesterday. Antonio Brown is expected to rejoin the team today. And don't forget, he had a cup of coffee in Foxborough as well. Brady and Belichick in Foxborough as first time as opponents. No coach quarterback duo was more successful. They won 219 games, 30 games in the postseason, 6 Super Bowls. Damian Woody, you won 2 rings with the New England Patriots. Where would Bill Belichick be without Tom Brady?
I think Bill Belichick we will still regard him with greatness. I do. Because, I get this question asked all the time. And Tom Brady didn't walk in the league and become Tom Brady. There was a process that led to Tom Brady being who he is. Not to take away from the intangibles that Tom Brady and the things that he's held true throughout his whole career, but the culture and the way that Bill Belichick groomed Tom Brady, that helped him get to where he is at today. And I know it's popular to knock Bill Belichick down after what happened last year. Obviously, Tom went on to Tampa, won a Super Bowl in his first year, all those type of things. But just think about some of the things that Bill Belichick has done in New England. Remember when in 2008, when Tom Brady was out with the ACL for the whole year, he took Matt Castle. Matt Castle, let me remind the ladies and gentlemen out there about Matt Castle. If I'm not mistaken, Matt Castle did not start at USC. Matt Castle came into this league. Bill Belichick was able to put him at the quarterback position and win 11 games. They went 11-5. That, to me, shows you the greatness of Bill Belichick. Now, would Bill Belichick have won all the Super Bowls that we're talking about? I doubt that, because I hold Tom Brady in the highest regard ever in playing the quarterback position. But don't sleep on Bill Belichick. Don't disrespect his greatness and his coaching acumen, whether he was an assistant coach and a head coach with the New England Patriots.
On this thing, I think you and Dan should have the last word, so I'll go before Dan on this. Let's make sure we understand something here, and this is where my reporter hat comes on, because, as a columnist and a pundit for years as well, nobody's questioned the greatness of Bill Belichick.
Right.
Only a fool would do that. He doesn't need 6 Super Bowl titles as a head coach and 2 more as a coordinator, 8 total, to be considered great. When we walk around calling dudes great, they got 1 and 2. You see what I'm saying? We consider Sean Payton's great. He's got 1. Okay? We consider Tony Dungy great. He got 1. All right? We consider plenty of dudes that got 1 or 2. Andy Reid has religiously been revered as a head coach in the National Football League. A Super Bowl championship escaped him until 2 years ago. All right? And he coached 20 years before he won a Super Bowl championship. So we got to understand, of course, Bill Belichick would be recognized for his greatness. But that's not the point. The point is you had greatness in the palm of your hands, and you pushed it away. Why? If a guy is clearly dissipated, he's diminished, and you push him away, that's different. That comes with the business. But when your ego's gotten away to the point where, you've won enough, that's an issue. Now, here's where it gets strange. I don't see Bill Belichick the way most people see Bill Belichick. You know why? Because the only time I ever see Bill Belichick, because you ain't going to find me in Foxborough covering their practices. I can promise you that. The reason why you see me, when I see Bill Belichick? Bill Belichick shows up sometime at the Celtics games. Completely different dude. Nice, smiling, approachable, the whole bit. The Jim Browns of the world and others swear by this man.
Yeah.
Swear by this man. There's a lot of people out there who know Bill Belichick and say, he's a good man. They say that. Now, people who don't know him, because he don't want you to know him. And he doesn't mind the way that he looks, and that's a different ballgame. But then we think about things like Malcolm Butler, who led the team in snaps, and he was your elite corner, and you benched him for the Super Bowl because he got in an argument, allegedly got in an argument with some defensive coordinator or whatever, and you made that decision that basically cost them a Super Bowl because they lost 40-33 to Nick Foles and stuff. And if Malcolm Butler was out there, he might have been able to make a play or two that would have negated that level of offensive prowess from the Philadelphia Eagles. There were players, okay, that some people said that he could have treated them better, et cetera, et cetera. So that's when we talk about Bill Belichick. Nobody's questioning his greatness, is my closing comment. Nobody's with any degree of intelligence, a modicum of intelligence, would question his greatness as a coach. We're just looking at him and saying, damn, you have won. You have established yourself. Do you really have to be that way if indeed he is the way that some of the reports describe? Damn.
Yeah, Bill Belichick is unquestionably the greatest coach in the history of the NFL. Without Tom Brady, he is not unquestionably the greatest coach in the history of the NFL. Now, Tom Brady has come out, and Tom Brady is unquestionably the greatest player in the NFL. And he has said that he would not be where he is or what he accomplished without Bill Belichick. So these guys will always go hand in hand. I would say this, Big Wood, because I understand where you're coming from. Like, into Stephen A's point, we're not questioning greatness. We're questioning greatest. Those are two very different things. There's been a lot of great head coaches in the NFL. And Stephen A., you would know, like Chuck Noll is considered,
yes,
to my knowledge, one of the greatest head coaches in the history of the NFL. He's not that without Terry Bradshaw.
That's right.
You know, Bill Walsh, considered one of the greatest head coaches in the NFL. He's not that without Joe Montana. Now, those players were going to be really, 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 really good players without the head coach. But the head coaches that we put into the greatest ever are there because of the quarterbacks that they had. Bill Belichick just so happens to be the greatest coach ever and one of the greatest general managers ever. And that's the one thing that we don't talk about enough when it comes to his greatness, was the fact that he took the greatest player ever and got to pay him like a great player. That's the difference between Bill and everybody else. And so while he's going to be in the conversation for greatness, Woody, that's not the topic. Would he be the greatest coach ever without Tom Brady? Unquestionably. And the answer is absolutely not.
Well, I mean, listen. If we're going to go that route, we can apply it to any coach, okay? Because at the end of the day, players make things happen on the field. The coach is not on the field. Players are on the field, But I also say players don't become who they are by happen chance. You need an environment to cultivate that talent. So that's why to me it's hard to de-link these guys because they both need each other.
Yeah, it was a partnership.
Right.
Yes or no from you? Will this even be close on Sunday night? Yes or no?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. Still ahead, should Justin Fields be starting on Sunday, or does one of our guys think Matt Nagy should go in a different direction? The Bears dumpster fire discussion in a bit. Plus, they went number 1 overall, but both couldn't have been more hyped. They go head-to-head tonight. Which has the brightest future? That debate shortly. Stay tuned. It's First Take.
Aflac policyholders have been paid $37 billion directly.
Aflac?
That's a lot of money.
Did somebody say money?
He said Aflac.
Well, if they're paying out billions of dollars to help cover unexpected medical expenses, what's the difference?
Coach Prime. What? No smoke machine?
Aflac. Looks like Aflac is ready for prime time. Hey, coach to coach, what do I need to do to get one of those jackets?
Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover. Aflac is an official sponsor of ESPN College Game Day.
It's all coming together this fall with the DQ Fall Blizzard menu, of course. 7 seasonal sensations like new pecan pie, pumpkin pie, and more. A lineup piled so high with fall flavors, you might just want to jump in. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
But she used to eat breakfast somewhere else. Then he tried Wendy's breakfast.
Irvin's the best.
Now we can't get rid of him.
Can you believe this breakfast croissant is only $1.99?
Yeah, Reggie. I put the sign up.
Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
But it is funny.
It's hilarious.
I mean, listen, all I know
is Ice-T. And if you know me, you know I love my cars. No matter how much I love them, I know they're going to break down. And that's why I protect my baby